Man versus nature is a concept as old as any version of the modern human. Struggling to survive in brutal climates and creating new ways to thrive is built into our genes. We control fire, built shelters, and the engineering innovations list goes on and on. We've reached the point where we have won. Nature doesn't fight back, it simply exists. It is a complex system of many other complex natural systems at work. We have a consciousness that can be changed on a whim. Nature does not change like that, unless it is acted upon by an outside force. For example, almost 8 billion over-evolved apes. All 8 billion of us have conscious choices to make, a narrative we are building together. In rhetoric, a story that is built over time that influences the way people think and act is called a rhetorical narrative. These are affected by the way we communicate, and forever we have been using an us versus them narrative. This is where we pit ourselves versus nature and spread this type of mindset to others. To save our planet from our abuse, we could start with changing the way we tell our story. This book should not be a war novel about the conquering of nature, but a coming-of-age story where we realize that we are being extremely immature and must grow up. Instead of man versus nature, we must become man with nature.
As of recent, we have witnessed terrible wildfires that had took place in California. Brush fires from San Diego County to Northern California that have burned tens of thousands of acres in 2018. Already, there have been more than 2,600 wildfires that have been reported so far this year in California. Similar incidents had occurred in North Carolina in 2016, which resulted in more than 30 wildfires that have been burned roughly 55,000 acres in the foothills and western North Carolina mountains that the firefighters attempted to manage. These wildfires blazes have rained ashes on surrounding towns and set smokes to faraway cities. We are also seeing mass extinction at an increasingly rate. Unlike past mass extinction caused by events like asteroid strikes, a volcanic eruption, and natural climate shifts, the current crisis is almost entirely caused by us. There have been much belief that 99% of the currently threatened species are at risk from human activities, and primarily those driving habitat loss. We also have seen we also have been seeing current warm trend that is significant because most of it is extremely likely contributed by human activity since the mid 20th century, and we are seeing the effects of climate change from Greenland and Antarctica ice sheets, which is decreasing in mass. It has been reported that the rate of Antarctica ice mass loss has tripled in the last decade.
Disasters are happening all around planet Earth. 2017 made history. For example, Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma. These storms are developing right after one another, categories 4 and 5. Are these natural disasters due to climate change? How could one say no? Waters are rising in temperature, glaciers are melting, species are going extinct at a rate we have never seen before. We have developed into a society that has a mindset of what is next, what is new. However, these cool new products are destroying our resources and habitats, even can create harmful gases or cause us to be wasteful. We think we own planet Earth. We think that water and other resources are a never-ending supply. We think it is not our job to save the planet, but it is our responsibility. It is time to take action. We do not have time to waste. And if we keep ignoring what is happening throughout the world, we may see a shortage in water, food, and resources. One result, if we do not change our ways, will be in the year 2050. More than 50% of the ecosystems and species will be extinct. The time to educate others, raise awareness, and take action is now. To live in a society where humans are one with nature will be a sight to see. So let's all be one with nature, like the way the Native Americans lived before America became America.
As we move toward a more sustainable future, let us take a page or two from the Native Americans. Most Native Americans were pantheists. For them, kinship with all creatures of the earth, sky, and water was a real and active principle that they centered their entire culture around. The Indian was kin to all living things and gave all creatures equal rights. Plants were used for food and medicinal purposes. Animals were hunted solely for the purpose of food. Native Americans saw Earth as existing long before them, something they were born onto and should adapt to. They admired the earth for its enduring beauty and sustainability that predated and transcended their lifetime. It was their father's, and they believed it should be their children's for generations to come. When early colonizers came to settle on the land, they brought with them their view of superiority and dominance. The previous harmony was destroyed. Millions of acres of forestry were chopped down, and many animals were driven from their habitats. Many animals were killed, not for necessity, but for sport. Humans have the most fully developed intelligence and self-awareness of all animals. At times, this has been used to distance us further from nature. Industrialization, coupled with the advent of the agricultural industry, brought massive shifts in attitude toward nature over time. We have seen nature as subordinate to us. Our consciousness should not contribute to the disparity between man and nature. Rather, it should spur us to embrace a conscious reunification with nature and the universe. Sustainability is more than achievable if we could sacrifice some of our luxuries and begin to change our perspectives.